My wife and I run an art gallery. It's a family business. We've been around for over 40 years. And I came back in, I guess, through in 2017. And before that, I hadn't done any bookkeeping and all that stuff. And so when I came back, our prior bookkeeper started training me in QuickBooks because I said, I want to do everything in one place. I didn't ask any questions of the person I was learning from. I mean, I just took it as gospel, And then along the way, I discovered, when I got my CPA retired, I've been working with these two people, for almost 30 years. I was being advised by a CPA who really he used QuickBooks, but I mean, just literally just did journal entries to print stuff out kind of thing. And so I would ask him questions about how to do something, and he would give me, the CPA answer. I hired other people to help me out, a couple other bookkeepers to help me along my way, and then, use YouTube as a support method, and looking at different people offering, support for QuickBooks on YouTube. And I just kept coming back to Candus, and then eventually I saw that you could take a course. And so it's like, I'm pretty darn confident in QuickBooks by now, but there's always this nagging sort of thing in the back of my head. Do I really know everything I need to know? It was great. I pushed myself. I did what Candus said. I didn't pick and choose to start. I just started at the top of the course because she recommended that. I'm like, all right. It was well worth it, because along the way, I definitely I had these little discoveries like, wow, there's a better way to do that. Or, I wasn't doing that, really right at all, or I didn't have the understanding, to follow through on that correctly. I was just kind of doing it by rote, if you will. So it was, I have to say, I admit, coming into it, I was a little dubious, like, well, it's a lot of money. I know how to do this, but I have to say, in retrospect, now having gone through the whole course and been for a couple of the phone calls, like, yes, totally worth it. Totally worth it. I wish I had done that before I just started all this, So a lot of that hindsight is 2020 sort of thing. But I think for beginners, and there's obviously been some new folks in the classes that we've had online, like I wish I'd come across her in 2017. It inherited so much history in the company that I would get into this place midway through the year kind of thing where I would like, oh no, I need to redo this, this charge needs to have been booked somewhere else or something like that. And so I would go back and undo my reconciliations and go all the way back, and then I re-reconcile everything. And I also keep, hard copies of everything. So I would get to the end of the year and I'd be always reprinting the year. And so when she showed how that you could fix the reconciliations without undoing them, I was like, oh my God, you just saved me. Okay, that was worth $1,000, like right there, that one alone. I mean, simple stuff like do your credit memos at the date of the return of the item. Like, we don't do a lot of returns in our business. It just doesn't happen very often. So I would put them off, and I didn't even understand really how to do the credit memos properly, because it was such an infrequent thing in my business that when they would come up, I would, try and figure it out in the moment, and then I would forget again. And so like her explanation of that, so again, super clear. This is how you do it. Boom, boom, boom. This is why you want to do it this way. All made perfect sense, just done. A huge one for me that is really impacting my business was where she showed that you could add your customers to bills. Not that you were going to bill them. I mean, you could bill them or not. So I was always scared to use it because I thought if I put that name in there, then somehow, and I tried it. I tried like billing my, job costing, and it was confusing as heck. And then there again, she comes in, tells you like, how, what it's for, how you can use it. And instantaneously now, like I'm adding, my customers' names to, for example, shipping costs, and framing costs and stuff that I had to do a lot of Excel work and a lot of different stuff to sort of, piece these things together after the fact to give some idea of our actual profit margin other than just looking at the friggin' P&L. it's small, but it was big, right? I mean, it just, so, and there's lots of those. I mean, her thing with the reports, like the reports to use to check your sales tax. I just took it on faith that QuickBooks is doing my sales tax correctly, and my payroll tax, even more importantly. And I'm like, okay, I go in and I've got, I file it and I e-file it and I do the thing. And I'm like, how do I know those numbers are right? And I trusted it, but in the back of your head, you're like, I don't know. So sure enough, when we get to the payroll section, she shows the reports, how to do it, how to cross-check the numbers. So this end of year, I was like, I know exactly, whether the 940 and the 941 were correct. And I knew there was a way, but I hadn't taken the time to do it before, and boom, there it is in the course. So, I just can't think of a better way to start the learning process than, doing this course. And like I said, I wish I had found her 3 years earlier.